So this is the list post Puppet that I've been kind of toying with here. We talk about today. We're just doing stuff without Puppet today, guys. We want to get everybody up to date to be ready for the ban list, because I don't want the ban list to drop and people to be like, I can't play branded now. Like, Puppet's gone, Sanctifier's gone. That's the last thing I want to see happen. Because I think that's a real shame to branded. Like, you guys saw branded was topping YCS's every, or not, like there was at least one or two branded tops in every YCS before Fire came out. So, and a lot of those tops had no Puppet in them. So I there's a lot, especially when a ban list is coming out, potentially banning a card like Appaloosa, which just like needs to go. If Appaloosa gets banned, the power of the game goes down immediately, which is a good thing for branded, especially if we do have Puppet. But if we don't have Puppet, it'll be good in that situation, of course, because that meant our power went down a little bit. Because I do think Puppet being hit does hit the deck a little bit. All right, so this is going to be voiceover because there is an audio issue, but we got 3 Albaz, 2 Cartesia, 2 Quem, really standard, don't need to talk about that. Then we have 1 Esteller of the White Forest. White Forest Esteller is just super good, super techy. I've had a few combo videos on it. It helps you. It's a great send off of branded fusion. And then, of course, we have the 3 Bystials. Of course, the Bystials are just an incredible option in branded. So I think right now, they're great against Fiend Smith. I think they're great as combo pieces. All right, so 3 Shrouded Dragon. I think 3 Shrouded is going to be very good, especially like some people might think like we might be experiencing more droll or something like that. I don't think that's I don't think that's going to really happen. And this card's still a +1. It gets you Retribution in the graveyard, gets you Albaz in the graveyard. Also counts as Albaz in the graveyard, so you can send things, you can set up things like branded in white by just sending it to the graveyard when it's in the graveyard, and it counts as Albaz, so this resets itself, which is pretty neat. So I think 3 is just mandatory at this point. It's also a Dark Dragon. Like I said, it's a level 8 Dark Dragon, which is mandatory for the Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. Since we're going to be making off of things like branded banishment and also branded in red, more importantly, for this card. 1 kit, 2 Mercuriers, 1 tragedy, and 1 ad lib. Kit is just really good. I'm thinking about running a Sprined also, because we could also play through a lot of hand traps with the Sprined. That's a very good combo because you could go High Spirits, plus search the kit, and then just set up with Sprined really well. I think that it's still very good since we're running the High Spirits. We could run the Sprined. It's just I have a tight extra deck even without Sanctifier. So it's something that we can consider running, but I'm going to run it either way. Adlib is very good. It's basically our Puppet replacement in this deck. I think Adlib is still very strong. You get to banish 2 or 3 or 4 times. So I think that's very important. So I think that Adlib being able to revive a Mirror Jade from being banished off of Branded Red, or also when you're running this is very good when you're running Branded Banishment as well, which we're using to get out the Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. If you target the Adlib and you still have like a Shrouded and then a Lubellion on field, you can it's crazy the stuff you can do. So yeah, no, I think Adlib's very good, and it basically replaces the Puppet. And it makes me think I want to run double Gwignoll still, but that's something that we'll talk about when we get there. And then 2 Mercurier, because we are running, we're obviously running Allure of Darkness. It's really good in multiples as well. 3 Branded Fusion, 1 Branded Loss, 2 Brand High Spirits, 1 Branded in white, 3 Branded Opening, 2 Branded in red. And then for the trap, branded cards, branded banishment, and branded retribution. So I think we need to run 2 branded in red because we're running desires. If you're not running desires, you don't need to run 2. We're running branded banishment for the 1 card combo with Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. And then also I think that this card goes along with our other best 1 card combo or 2 card combo in the deck, which is like a Bestial plus Branded Fusion. So I think this card's very good. It's also a very good grind game. It keeps us being able to play the grind game very well if we have this in our pocket at all times, to be able to like make a free Borreload or a Mirror Jade whenever we need to. That's why we run the second Mirror Jade, especially post like anything without Sanctifier. I think branded, And High Spirits is just a really good consistency card to be able to play around hand traps. Maybe it could go to 1, but I think it just helps me unbrick the hands full of these Dark Dragons, so it's very good at 2. 1 branded loss is just fine. I think you could potentially go to 2 or 3, but I think it's just fine at 1. 3 fusion deployment, you still run it. It gets you Quemmer Cartesia. It's very good in that regard. Just a consistency piece. And then speaking of consistency pieces, I love myself this engine. You guys know I play 60 card branded. I love 60 card branded because you get to run 3 Allure of Darknesses and 3 Pot of Desires. These are just like, they say draw 2, they say win the game, they say go +1, so that's why we run it. I'm gonna make a video coming up soon on what happens when you banish certain things in branded with desires, because this was requested, because I think a lot of people are scared of desires, but they just don't know how to play with desires when you've banished certain cards. It's a very good card once you've learned kind of just like the things, like the lines after you've banished, let's just say both your Quems or just both your Cartesias or something like that, which doesn't always happen, you know, you gotta realize that. But they're just inherently what you need to play 60 card, in my opinion. You need to be able to sift through your 60 cards, and you need to be able to draw into your cards, and it lets you go +1, so it lets you start with a hand of 7, 8, 9 cards, which helps you break boards very importantly. It helps you play through hand traps as well. You play more to droll, but people are more or less off a droll because of Mulcharmy, so I think this is a very good package. For more consistency, we also have Foolish Burial, Gold Sark, and Called By. Called By just to play through hand traps, and then Gold Sark and Foolish Burial for just 1 card combos to get to Branded Fusion or complete a combo. And then we are running 2 Patchwork. Also, oh, okay. So now I know what I missed. So I gotta find the Edgem Chains. Got it. Well, in that case, if we're not even running Edgem Chain, guys, I'm just gonna, I mean, honestly. Yeah, I knew I was missing 2 cards. I was like, okay, here are the Edgem Chain. So we're gonna cut out 2 cards. So this will be at 62, but the, okay, so I knew, I was like, why am I running the Foolish? Because I thought this deck was a lot tighter than it was, but nah. So we're just gonna remove a Brand High Spirits and a Foolish Burial. Yeah, I'll just have to edit that in post-op. But yeah, no, that's fine. I was like, I thought the Edgems were in there, and then we were at 60 cards, but no, okay. So yeah, no, we're running the Edgem package over just like, because they're board breakers, so they're also consistency pieces. So you know, Patchwork is another way that we can go +1 basically by searching by searching the Edgem plus the poly. I think the 2-to-1 ratio is very clean, makes it so you don't brick on double poly ever, which is pretty good. And also just drawing this card's very good because it's very good discard fodder. It even procs if it was sent for cost. So it does not proc if it was sent from deck though, so remember that. It's great to make a Chimera that's untargetable with Poly, which will be great. I think next format being able to crack most boards. And then for now, I'm still running 3 Book of Eclipse because it goes really well with being able to crack a whole board. It also lets you dodge Imperm, dodge Valor, dodge Mourner, which a lot of people are still on, and I don't foresee the hand trap format leaving. Also, it's very good for just trading 1-for-1s on like Desiree, IP Masquerena, because you could just chain on IP Masquerena and force them to link off their links or just like fizzle the IP. Very good for just taking away a single Omni Negate because you could use it and force the Verudrus. This is very good because the Promethea Princess can't target the Guardian Chimera, which I'm sure will still be a relevant card post-ban list. And then for the last 5 cards, the Triple Tactics Thrust package plus duplication that we have to run because it's really good. Alright, so remember guys, if you watch the deck profile on YouTube, we cut out the Foolish Burial and 1 High Spirits because those were not supposed to be in there. You could also cut out, if you want to get to 50 cards, you could cut out, like I'll tell you guys right now, if you want to get to 50 cards, you could also obviously cut out the Patchwork engine. You could cut out Allure, 1 Mercurier, Desires, and then put in 3. And then you could put in 3 Dark Ruler No More. And that should fit your that should be 50 cards right there. You could also run more high spirits, but I don't know. And also I would consider running Nadirs in the side deck for going first in either of these, or maybe consider Nadir in general. But for right now, we're not on Nadir. So for the extra deck, we are still running 2 Mirror Jade because you really are going to need 2 Mirror Jade coming up because we are looping as many Mirror Jades as possible. So I think that this definitely does help our cause. By running 2, it makes it so we don't have to struggle getting to the second. We do run the ad lib, but it's just fine. 1 Lubellion, and then still on 2 Albion the Branded Dragons. Gotta run them. And then we are on 1 Titaniclad, 1 Alba Lunatus, and then for the rest of the, or no, and then 1 Rinbrum. Rinbrum's so good in this. We'll show off a combo with Rinbrum where it's very good. You're able to like loop a Bestial, or you can loop like whatever you want with it. It's very good. And it's very important in this build too. We always run it, obviously, though. And then just like other various cards, 1 Guignol, 1 Quertus. I think Guignol's still very good, but we're only on 2 Cartesia and Without Puppet. I mean, we do have Adlib to send, but obviously I think we should be able to get away with only 1 without the Puppet. It's not as imperative to have 2, in my opinion. And then 1 Quertus. I think we could potentially run 1 Lulu Wall Lilith, you know, the card on the on the playmat here. I think that's definitely something that we could consider running. And then the rest of the extra deck, which is the generic fusion monsters, Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, Borlode Furious Dragon, Mud Dragon, and then Guardian Chimera and Stapelia. So I think Light and Darkness Dragon Lord is our best option to replace for Sanctifier for sure. It's one of those cards that you can get 3 Omni Negates out of. It's a 3400 body also. You can make it off of Branded in Red, Branded in White, and Branded Banishment. Those are all 1 to 2 card combos. It's very easy to make on your opponent's turn to be able to cap off your board and just completely stop your opponent from playing. So I think it's very good. It's your best replacement. It fits the Sanctifier line really cleanly.